that this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it. So I don't give him no energy, I give haters no energy. Steve ain't this, he thinks he this. You don't even know me. Everyone is talking about it right now, the shocking arrest of Diddy Combs and the unbelievable fallout that's dragging some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry along with him. But there's one name in particular that's left everyone in disbelief: Steve Harvey. Yes, the same Steve Harvey that we all know from family-friendly TV shows like Family Feud and his long-standing career as a comedian and talk show host. The same Steve who has built an image as a clean, respectable, almost fatherly figure in the entertainment world. But behind that polished persona, it seems there may be a much darker side. Clearly, there is a criminal investigation underway, and they believe that there may be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes. The bombshell news dropped like a ton of bricks when Diddy was arrested in Manhattan. Federal agents took him in on charges that sound like they're straight out of a crime thriller: racketeering, conspiracy, exploitation, and more. Stacey Schneider and Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations? Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise. This was huge. Diddy's business empire has spanned music, fashion, television, and nightlife for decades, but the arrest has blown a hole in the image of the music mogul everyone thought they knew. As more details surfaced, whispers started to swirl. A lot of people began to wonder how many others could be involved in this mess. And then, boom. The rumor hit the internet like wildfire. Steve Harvey, the beloved host and comedian, had fled the country the exact same day Diddy was taken into custody. Coincidence? Not likely. I've had clients describe MDC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in. The fact that Steve Harvey left the US as soon as Diddy was put behind bars has sparked an avalanche of speculation. Could it be that Steve knew the walls were closing in on him too? As the days go by, more and more people seem to think so. It's no secret that Steve has attended many of Diddy's infamous parties over the years, those extravagant star-studded events that seem to be the ultimate sign of success in the entertainment world. But as we've now come to learn, those parties weren't just about the glitz and glamour. There were much darker things happening behind the scenes, and Steve's connection to them is raising some serious eyebrows. A special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated. No inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, including leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3, staff members escorting them. Let's rewind a bit and talk about these legendary parties Diddy used to throw. To the outside world, they seemed like the place to be celebrities from music, movies, sports, and politics rubbing shoulders, all while Diddy cemented his reputation as the ultimate host. But as time went on, more and more rumors surfaced about what really went down at those parties, rumors that hinted at some very questionable activities. The recent allegations and arrests suggest that these weren't just harmless social gatherings. If you listen to the people now coming forward, Diddy's parties were much more than that. They were allegedly a breeding ground for all sorts of illegal activities. And it's not just Diddy who's under the microscope. Every high-profile guest who attended, including Steve Harvey, is now being looked at with suspicion, replete with very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras throughout his home. It's been said that Steve wasn't just a casual guest at these parties either. Rumor has it that he was a regular, a fixture at some of the wildest nights in Diddy's circle. This is where things get really interesting. Sources close to the investigation are hinting that the FBI has witnesses who claim to have seen Steve taking part in some pretty unsavory stuff. These aren't just people throwing out baseless accusations, these are individuals who allegedly attended the same parties and witnessed Steve getting involved in things that are not just embarrassing but potentially illegal. The rumor is that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right? That's the rumors. Yeah, I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that. Now, this is where the story really starts to peel back the layers of Steve's public image. For years, he's presented himself as the ultimate family man, a devoted husband and father, someone who could give advice to millions on how to live a respectable life. His best-selling book, act like a lady, think like a man, cemented his place as a voice of reason in the often chaotic world of relationships. But what if it was all a front? What if behind the scenes, Steve Harvey was living a double life, frequenting events that were anything but wholesome? All right, I got to take some time to address this here. Of course, Steve has built an empire on his charm, wit, and larger-than-life personality. He's been the face of countless TV shows, from talk shows to game shows, and he's universally adored for his no-nonsense approach to life. But this new information could change everything. The idea that Steve could have been involved in, or at least witnessed the deeply troubling activities allegedly happening at Diddy's parties, is almost too much for people to wrap their heads around. Could the man who's been dishing out life advice for decades be hiding something this dark? Alleged evidence that's been gathered in this case was from those 2 raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances have been named freak-offs. The fact that Steve left the country just as Diddy was being arrested has people buzzing. Why would he flee if he had nothing to hide? It's one thing to go on a spontaneous vacation, but to leave the US the moment a close associate is taken down in a massive scandal. That's not something most people would do unless they had a very good reason to. And for Steve, that reason might be fear. So what is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could get moved earlier than that? As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes? But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released. What's even more chilling is that it's not just Steve's attendance at these parties that's under scrutiny. There are whispers, allegedly from credible sources close to the investigation, that Steve wasn't just a passive bystander. According to these sources, the FBI has been gathering evidence for years, and they've interviewed multiple witnesses who claim Steve actively participated in some of the most shocking and illegal activities that went down at these events. We're talking about things that, if proven, could completely ruin his career and lead to serious legal consequences. Why doesn't the government want to turn him in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and arrest the guy who came to New York to turn himself in. For now, Steve has remained tight-lipped about all of this. He's not issued any public statement, and his representatives have been suspiciously quiet. But behind the scenes, you can bet his legal team is working overtime to figure out how to navigate the storm. The fact that Steve fled the country suggests he knows there's a real possibility that he could be implicated in this scandal. After all, if he truly had nothing to worry about, why wouldn't he just stay put and defend himself? We all saw it posted yesterday. All over all social media pages, Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy. She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse. What makes this even more shocking is the sheer contrast between Steve's squeaky clean public image and the allegations now swirling around him. This is a man who has built his brand on being relatable, trustworthy, and full of down-to-earth wisdom. He's the last person anyone would expect to be caught up in something like this. But the more we learn about what allegedly went on at Diddy's parties, the more it seems like anyone who was regularly in attendance could be involved. Diddy controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising signs of abuse were gone. And let's not forget Steve's close relationship with Diddy only adds fuel to the fire. Over the years, the two have been seen together at numerous events, and there's been no shortage of public admiration between them. Steve has even praised Diddy's entrepreneurial spirit and credited him as an inspiration. But now, with Diddy behind bars and facing serious charges, that relationship is suddenly looking a lot more suspicious. And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially, Diddy was the Epstein of rap. The real question on everyone's mind is this: what does Steve have to hide? Is it possible that he was merely a guest at these parties,